Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Classic Matches.
Yeah.
WCW edition again this week with none other than War Games.
Yes, the very first, pitting the Superpowers and the Road Warriors against the Four Horsemen.
Yes, well, in this stage, 5
The
horsemen.
5 Horsemen, yeah.
Well, it was the 4 horsemen and JJ.
4 Horsemen and JJ Dillon versus Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff, the Road Warriors, and Paul Ellering.
I think it was Paul Ellering anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
Or was it the Koloffs, just
No.
Ellering on the outside?
Dusty, the Road Warriors. We had Nikita Koloff,
Nikita
and then
and
I think it was Paul Ellering.
either
Paul
Paul
Ellering.
or Ivan.
It was Paul because he was definitely dressed.
Yeah. Paul Ellering.
But yeah, great. I thought it was a great match.
Yeah,
Like,
it was very good.
like
it was an absolute bloodbath.
It was.
They knocked the shite out of each other.
They did.
Like, we joined the match already in progress because that's the way they have it on the network,
Yeah.
and it's Anderson and Dusty,
Dusty.
and Anderson's already busted open.
So it was the first 2 minutes. Because it's every 2 minutes people can come in.
We joined when kind of the second man for Team Horseman came in, which
That was
was Tully
Tully
Blanchard. So the Brainbusters go to work on Dusty's leg.
This match is based, obviously, the Horsemen and the Road Warriors and Dusty have had like a big massive feud for the past 3-4 years.
They would have attacked Dusty and nearly broke his leg
And his arm.
and his arm at this point.
Yeah.
That
like,
notorious,
the attacks.
yeah.
Those attacks were fucking notorious. Like, real
Ripping him out of a car and...
Yeah, she was at a TV tape, and if you ever watched the Ric Flair and Horseman DVD, like, you can see what they fucking did to Dusty.
Yeah, they ripped him out of a car, they nearly ran him over.
Yeah. Like, it's scary stuff,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Like, it was like a gang war, like, really, if you want to go that far.
Proper turf war between the Horsemen and the Superpowers.
Well, more or less Dusty, really. The Horsemen and the Warriors eventually, but it was more or less their targeted attacks were of Dusty.
That's because Dusty was going after Flair's title.
Yeah, they were going for the titles at that stage. Like, obviously, Dusty beating Flair at one point, obviously, for the title, then Flair winning it back.
Ridiculously awesome cage match.
They had some great stuff, though.
Oh,
They had some great matches. No, those two were like, it was like McMahon versus Austin, but obviously, McMahon could fight.
Yeah.
Flair
it was like peanut butter and jam how well they went together.
Like, it was kind of like the McMahon of Austin. Obviously, only difference is this was better, I think.
Only difference in that was McMahon was a world-class athlete.
Yeah. And I think Flair and Dusty was a better rivalry due to they kicked lumps of shit out
Yeah,
of
like
each other.
Dusty would have been the boss at this point.
Yeah.
He would have been the head booker for WCW.
Baby. Booker, baby.
Oh yeah, Dusty Rhodes, book all the matches. I have this idea. I'm going to sit you down and tell you about it. It's called War Games. See, I was watching the Mad Max the other day. I got inspired by this thing called the Thunderdome, Daddy. Did you ever hear about that? That's
Dusty Rhodes, you're fired.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about that? Actually, that's how Dusty kind of came up with it.
Yeah.
He was sitting down watching Mad Max 3 and the Thunderdome, and he thought basically, what if we have 2 steel cages
instead of one
with a top, and we have like this team kind of entry.
Yeah.
And obviously that became
War Games.
the War Games, and that became the catalyst for the Hell in a Cell, the Lethal Lockdown in TNA.
True. War Games is where it all started.
Yeah.
War Games is where it all started.
Like, Lethal Lockdown in TNA is almost like a carbon copy of War Games, except
War Games.
when everybody's in, there's a cage top that lowers down full of weapons.
Oh, yeah, I remember Lethal Lockdown, yeah.
Generally a really good match.
ECW would love that, alright.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, War Games is obviously, it was, granted, it was never, besides the first couple, after that, then the rest of them were shite.
Yeah, once Russo got his hands on it, they
once 1990s
died. Yeah. Of course, you had the memorable Team NWO versus Team WCW.
That wasn't great.
That was awful.
That wasn't memorable for bad reasons.
Memorable
really.
for not being the proper NWO that everybody wanted.
I just think the 1990s War Games weren't great. There was one or two decent ones.
You had the iconic Alliance to End Hulkamania.
Sullivan, my son.
The Dungeon of Doom
Oh, yeah,
versus the Hulkamaniacs.
We watched it last week.
God, that's so bollocks.
We watched it last week and we were going to do it, but it was so fucking
Notable
bad.
for the debut of Well, it's the Big Show.
Or as in this case, the Giants.
Yep, Andre the Giant's son.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
He made his debut before the event. He
Yeah.
kind of accosted Hogan, ran over his motorcycle in a monster truck. And then kind of made his debut during the match, during the afters when Hogan got his hands on Sullivan.
Oh yeah, he finally got his hands on Sullivan, my son.
But the Giant interfered and allowed Sullivan to escape.
And basically kill him.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, back to the original War Games.
Yes, indeed.
Great match.
Proper bloodbath. Like, everybody, except the Legion of Doom, get busted open.
Yep, typical.
Like, at one point, Flair has like a spiked elbow pad that actually looks like a weapon out of Mad Max. He's just going around blasting everybody in the head with it.
And of course, Flair blades.
Yep. Flair blades, as Flair is known to do, and he looks an absolute mess, as Flair is known to do.
Oh, he fucking is. He's crazy.
Oh, what a mad motherfucker.
But no, obviously the match, it's a good match. Like, it's not, obviously it's not, was never going to be a wrestling masterpiece.
The size of the cage, I think, really constricted what they could do.
Because,
obviously you see it later on when Legion of Doom go up for the Doomsday Device, and they proper fuck it on JJ Dillon.
Yeah, because JJ talks about in the DVD that he hurt his shoulder.
Ends up separating his shoulder.
Well, yeah, he's a hump on his shoulder because of it. The cage was way too. I think it needed another 2 feet at least, maybe.
Yeah. And then obviously that's how the Legion of Doom get the pin. They pin Dillon, who is the only non-wrestler in the match.
I think he gave up. No, there was no pinfalls in this. I think.
Once he did his shoulder, it's only submission or surrender.
I think they fought for a little while longer, and then obviously. I think it was JJ gave up.
JJ's shoulder, and that was it. Because actual medical reasons caused them to forfeit.
I don't know if it was medical. Like, his shoulder was separated, but I think back then you just wrestled. Kind of.
I guess. Your nose falls off, pick it up, and move on.
Yeah, imagine you break your neck. Oh, shit sucks to be you, but you have to continue wrestling.
I suppose Austin did it.
He did.
Busted his neck out.
Well, to be fair though, they only wrestled for another minute though.
Yeah,
they had to finish the match.
In his words, the sloppiest, shittiest roll up he ever did do.
Jesus Christ, how could you believe that at all? But how could you? But no, it was such a good match. I thought it was good in terms of the fact that
it was better than I expected.
They bet lumps out of each other though. If you think about it, like
every man ended up covered in blood.
Now this was War Game. This is what War Games should have been. It should have been great.
A war.
Well, yeah, obviously it was a war, but it should be main rivalries. This is where they go to die, basically. This is
like a steel cage turned up to 11.
Yeah, basically this is where the feud should end and end swiftly. After that, no fucking more matches. Well, for at least a couple of years anyway.
Yeah.
Like, don't have any more matches. This is where you settle your fucking differences or kick the shit out or whatever you want to do.
I'm honestly surprised WWE hasn't done a War Games yet.
I don't think that.
I mean, they brought back Clash of Champions.
Yeah, they did.
Like in name, at least.
It's terrible, but anyway, I think WWE are never going to bring back War Games. I just think the name of it.
It's always a match that everybody wants.
But it's the problem though. It's called War Games.
Yeah, they have to kind of
make it shitty.
Like
soft games.
Balls games.
Or tour games.
Yeah. Sponsored by Thor 3. Yeah. No, like.
Flair's team losing, obviously, it was the faces should always go over in those situations.
Especially back the first ever type of match.
Yeah, like the Horsemen didn't need to win that, definitely not. But no, it's a classic match, no doubt about it. Like
one thing that kind of stuck out like a sore thumb, Lex Luger, 4 Horsemen.
Yeah, he wasn't.
No way.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, Luger should never have been in the horse. I think a lot of people he had the look of a horseman, but he didn't have the minds.
Actually been some bollocks horseman.
Do you remember Paul Roma?
Paul Roma. Yeah. That's exactly who I was going to say.
Good man.
We both had Mr. Personality himself.
Oh, because I didn't go out drinking. I went into the gym. Oh, I was a 4 Horseman though.
I was a steroid junkie.
Yeah, fuck off. I love Triple H's reaction though. The job guy from the WWF.
Yeah. Power and Glory with Hercules Hernandez. Yeah.
Okay then. But no, like Luger. He had the look, but he just didn't have the mindset.
For me, I remember the Horseman 2.0. That was Benoit, Flair, Anderson, and Dean Malenko.
Yeah, they were good actually.
They were my 4 Horsemen.
Well, obviously 90s,
yeah.
Like obviously the 4 Horsemen would always be Flair, Tully, Ole, Arn, and
JJ Dillon. Yeah.
Like obviously the 4 Horsemen with JJ being their manager.
Yeah.
Granted, you could put what's his name? Barry Windham as well. He was actually really good. Actually, I thought he was.
Yeah, he fit the Horseman like a glove.
Like Luger had the look, as I said before. He just didn't have the mind for it. He just he saw.
He didn't have the Horseman lifestyle.
No, Barry now was perfect for it.
Yeah.
He also brought his brother in it. Was it fucking... Who was the brother? Barry Windham? Oh, who was
Mike Rotunda?
No, he's Barry's brother. Like his real brother. Oh, shit. Windham.
Not Windham, not Windham. Mike Windham?
No.
Christopher?
Or forget his name. But some Windham, let's put it that way.
Kendall Windham.
There we go. Yeah. And then he didn't really fit.
No.
Even Barry said it himself.
Long.
Barry said it himself. And same with Kendall. He said it himself. He wasn't. He wants to be, but just doesn't work out. Like, there's so many different, obviously, horsemen. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, Christ.
Yeah. They even tried it in TNA with a Fortune.
Oh, I remember that.
They couldn't afford the name. What was that? That was AJ Styles, Chris Daniels,
Flair.
Kazarian,
Flair
as the manager. Yeah. Who else?
Bobby
Roode.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode.
But yeah,
like a good lineup on paper, but just didn't work.
It's TNA, but so yeah, classic match. Obviously, will be remembered. Obviously for the bloodbath. Obviously, no other War Games really came close to it. Yeah. Again, a lot of people think it's a shy kind of gimmick, really, and I can see why.
Later on, it was, but at the start, it was a very effective way for ending feuds in an absolute bloodbath.
Exactly, I know. I definitely agree. So yeah, I think that's
Dusty Rhodes can sell ice to an Eskimo.
Yeah, he can. Of course, he can.
Amazing.
Of course, he can, baby.
Oh yeah, baby.
So yeah, that's another episode done. Yeah. We'll be back next week with another one. We're going to surprise you. We're not going to tell you which one.
Definitely, yeah.
So we don't know ourselves at the moment.
Whatever we find. Could be New Japan, could be ECW, could be TNA,
could be two lads fighting out the back.
Could be ECW, could be WWF, could be IWW. We don't know.
We don't know. So yeah, on to next week. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Obviously Indie Wrestling Pod on Facebook at facebook.com/Indie Wrestling Pod, on Twitter
at Indie_pod. I myself am on Twitter at IWP Viking Beard.
I'm on Instagram at Gary. I think it's Gary.O'Brien or something. Yeah. You'll see it anyway. Let's put it that way.
In the meantime,
take it easy, guys.
In between time, take it easy, take it breezy.